Going into year 2 of Prince McNitt in the NFL and his second season with Seattle, you're going to be seeing him doing something that he has yet to do in his football life, basically, and that is wear a new number. He's going to be rocking the number 1 this season and going forward, and that is because of some turmoil he had with the Seahawks fan base. He wore number 12 in high school, Georgia State, LSU, and when he walked into the NFL, immediately just took number 12, and that rubbed fans the wrong way because the Seahawks had reserved the number 12 for the 12th man. It's the big thing in Seattle with their fan base, and McNitt didn't really care. He just said, "No, well, I wore number 12 my whole life. I'm going to wear it again." And throughout the season, it did rub fans the wrong way. They didn't feel like he was respecting the team, respecting the culture, respecting their history. And eventually, it just got to be too much of a distraction through the offseason with people repeatedly asking him to change his number. So, plain and simple, he chose the number 1, and it was just followed with a post on Twitter with the caption, "The only one that matters," with a picture of his new number 1 jersey. In his mind, and he kind of said it without explicitly saying it word for word, but he doesn't feel like the fans deserve to have their jersey retired because they're not the ones on the field. He's not exactly a people pleaser and one to put on a show for the fans for them. He's a little bit more putting on a show for himself, and that's kind of always been who he is. So he's not exactly endearing himself to one of the more passionate fan bases in all of the NFL, which is already a little rough because the Seahawks had some frustrations last year. Even though you can't put it all on Prince McNitt, he had his ups and downs as a rookie, but he was objectively a pretty good rookie relative to a lot of the quarterbacks you will see over the past decade. Here, he's facing off against one of those other rookie quarterbacks from the previous season. Him and Caleb Williams put on a phenomenal duel last season late in the year, and they're starting things off this season with another great duel as Kenneth Walker's going to run it in for a touchdown. It's 24-21, and McNitt was able to get the one-up on Caleb Williams last season. But this year, it's not looking good, and this year it's looking a little bit more like how the season ended last year, with the defense allowing a lot of points. And it's immediately going to become clear if this defense can't do what they did in the first half of last season. I mean, there was a point in time in the first half of last year where the defense was allowing 20 points or less, and it really looked like, man, Mike McDonald and these young defensive players, if this offense could figure it out, this could be a special team. And while McNitt has his team set up with the end zone touchdown with a minute to play, it's not going to really matter because they're not going to recover an onside kick and they're not going to see the football again. So McNitt does his job. You go and put up 28 points a game, you should be able to win, but this time just doesn't go their way, and now they're out here on the road against a really good Houston Texans team, and Kenneth Walker is going to be finally back healthy. Walker and DK Metcalf both suffered season-ending injuries last year, so it's good to have them back, and we're going to make sure that the 2 star players of this weaponry group are getting the football and getting it quite a lot, and McNitt with the play action going outside. That's going to be caught for the first down, and goal to go for the Seahawks, and McNitt will throw it underneath. He kind of seen both receivers late. There were 2 guys over the middle open, but doesn't matter as Jackson Smith-Njigba has the touchdown. And the Seahawks doing their thing. It is 9-7 after a missed extra point. But already early in his career, McNitt has become a little divisive in the fan base. He's never really been someone in college that has been all about the fans. We never really had much interaction between him and any school that he was at with the fans. But now with the Seahawks being, an NFL fan base and a hardcore fan base, he's very, really divisive between them because, a portion of them realizes this could be your franchise quarterback. But then there's another portion that would really like to be, having him endear himself a little bit more to the people who are supporting him and the team. There is just a stark difference, though, because a lot of the time, college fans, they support the players, the stars of college football, and in the NFL, they support the team. So McNitt used to being the big man on campus and being the star and the one people would either root for or root against. In the NFL, it's a little bit more everyone's pushed together. It's not you're rooting for or against Prince McNitt, you're rooting for or against the Seahawks, and McNitt could be a reason for that, but he ain't a big fish in a small pond at Georgia State. He isn't, the big 5-star number 1 recruit. He was the 5th quarterback taken in his draft behind Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams and Drake May and J.J. McCarthy. He's not the number 1 guy. He's not the acquisition, the target. So he's got to adjust to that. And so far in his career, he's played well. But the Seahawks last year, 8 wins. And you can blame that on the defense, you can blame that on injuries, but people are going to want success, people are going to want playoffs, and you know, for someone who put up the numbers that McNitt did, it didn't translate as much to wins, and some people are going to be critical of that. Some people are going to call his numbers empty statistics, and they want to see wins and losses. Some people only care about wins and losses, even if it is a little silly. Wins are not completely dependent on Prince McNitt. He is a big driving factor behind that, but he's doing what he can. So far in week 1, 28 points put up. In week 2 right now, 22 points put up on this Texans defense, a D'Amico Ryans defense. He's got Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson chasing him around the field, and he is just a little bit faster. And when you're outrunning some of the most athletic and freaky edge rushers in the league, it's a little special. And he's doing it again up the sideline. Touchdown for McNitt. But you got those 2 edge rushers bearing down on you. You got Derek Stingley in the secondary, and you've got now 29 points, one-upping what you did last week. And you got the defense who is trying to just slow the Texans' offense down. But unfortunately, CJ Stroud and the boys go and get themselves a touchdown. So 30 points allowed again, and you got to turn things to Prince McNitt to try to save you here. You don't want to drop to 0-2. The team last year had a really fast start, 5-3 because of the defense playing well. But this season, you want to get off to that slow start. Now, luckily for them, even though McNitt went 3 and out, the defense actually did get the stop, but they leave McNitt with about a minute to play and no timeouts, and he gets out of bounds there, stopping the clock, which is huge. Just needs to get into field goal range and throwing one over the middle. That's going to be caught, but inbounds in the field of play, and time is running out. McNitt needs to do something here, and he throws one over the middle, and that's going to be caught for the first down. Got to get back to the line quickly. 15 seconds to play, and he rolls out. He's got space to run it, and McNitt has room, has the first down, and has a lot more. Sets him up in field goal range, and the game-winning kick is good, and McNitt does save things. You can find statistics everywhere to point out that if you start the season 0-2, your chances of making the playoffs are awful, and especially if you start 0-3, but we're not going to be in that situation, and Kenneth Walker puts us in a very good situation where he is going to get to finish off the drive against the 49ers, who have beaten us down the last season, last 2 games, last 2 matchups. Prince McNitt has not played well against San Francisco when you got Bosa and all these players chasing after you. It is nice to have Kenneth Walker looking rejuvenated and back from injury, looking to have a career season. He already had 1 big run to set us up, got the touchdown, and now has another big one. It's going to open things up a little bit for the passing game, and DK Metcalf, who is going to be someone that's targeted quite a bit after his injury last year. On the play action for McNitt, throwing, that's going to be for DK Metcalf, and the completed pass, and now getting themselves into the red zone inside the 10-yard line. McNitt is going to roll. He's got nowhere to go, though, and it's going to be incomplete, so the field goal try is good, but the Seahawks allowing a touchdown, and McNitt constantly seemingly playing from behind as they throw underneath for Jackson Smith-Njigba, who's been this team's kind of rack up all the catches type of guy whenever he's on this team. Tyler Lockett was the only receiver last year who didn't get hurt, and I mean, when you got DK Metcalf making catches like that, it just opens up the offense so much more. And speaking of DK, he's got his 5th grab, and that's going to set them up. Goal to go now, 3rd down and goal. McNitt going to try to roll, but he's just chased. And does he have any sort of speed on him? No, he doesn't. He tried to keep the play alive, takes a big sack, and unfortunately, the Seahawks go and allow a touchdown before the half ends with 30 seconds to play. McNitt goes onto the field, doesn't do anything, obviously, takes it to halftime, and then the Niners take the opening second half kickoff, go down, get a field goal, and suddenly it's a big-time 3-score lead, and McNitt's trying to do something here. He does set up a nice play, but ultimately that's going to just result in a field goal on that drive, and the Niners go and score another touchdown. So a long drive taking up a lot of time, and McNitt, despite throwing a big touchdown here to DK, it's only going to make the score look a little bit closer because the Niners go and score again. The crowd ain't happy, the crowd's booing, and it's another multi-score loss to this 49ers team. You find yourselves now at 1-2, and if there's one team you're not trying to take on when you have defensive struggles, it might just be a Jaden Daniels-led offense, and you've seen what he has done in his career, and they start off scoring a touchdown, then McNitt puts the ball on the ground. It's 13-0 just like that. Washington misses an extra point, so maybe that can help us out a little bit down the line, but 13-0 hole already in the first quarter, and McNitt on the ground trying to hold on to the football this time, and he's got a nice first down carry on the design keeper. McNitt maybe needs to get his legs going a bit more. He hasn't ran it that much so far early in the season, a couple of nice runs, but it's just been, less design stuff, more scramble drill, and, the Seahawks aren't really designing stuff for him. Get a field goal on that drive. Defense forces a punt and McNitt and the offense take over with a nice play, already at about midfield and now in enemy territory, 29-yard line, throwing up the seam to Noah Fant, and Fant, who has become one of the better tight ends in the NFC, with McNitt throwing the football, and what a grab there, DK Metcalf. That is insane body control and just able to hold on to that football despite the harsh landing on the ground, and the defense back-to-back stops, and now let's get the run game going with Kenneth Walker, and throwing over the middle. That's going to be Njigba for the first down, and Njigba working the middle of the field just as good as any receiver in the NFL, because he gets the primary amount of his targets over the middle. Now the opportunity to go and get 3 scores unanswered as McNitt play action, throwing outside for Noah Fant, and that's going to be goal to go, and backed up after a couple of bad runs. Now 3rd down and goal. McNitt's going to take off, and he's going to get into the end zone. 3 straight scoring drives, and Washington finally responds, and once again, McNitt just can't seem to ever step onto the field with a lead in his possession. He worked them back for 3 straight scoring possessions to get them on top, only to watch his team allow a touchdown drive. So once again, playing from behind here, 3rd down and 9. McNitt, rushers get off their blocks, and 3 guys converge, hit as he's thrown, at least got rid of the football, and the field goal ties it, but there goes the offense for Washington, getting another touchdown, and we are here late in the 3rd quarter, now about to be approaching the 4th quarter. McNitt trying to get on a game-tying drive, and he's got to get in between 2 defenders, and Noah Fant ties it up. He walks to the sidelines, and Washington goes on about a 4-minute drive and puts up a field goal. So now, down by 3, at least it's obtainable, and you can take the lead here. Unfortunately, they can't do that. They go 3 and out. You're not going to be able to score on every possession, except if you're facing the Seahawks defense. 4th down is no good, and 37 points allowed, and another loss for Seattle. And to top that off, I mean, Kenneth Walker, not a season-ending injury, but he'll be missing this game against the Steelers. So, I mean, when you're going against a really good Steelers defense without your rushing attack, because you've seen what this team was able to do without Kenneth Walker in the ground game, and it wasn't much. Zach Charbonnet is a fine backup, but not someone who should be handling the football 20 times a game. And on 3rd down and 1, we try to trust that run game, and Charbonnet gets absolutely stonewalled. The Steelers stop 7-0 in a scoreless 1st quarter for the Seahawk offense, and throwing over the middle of the field, that's going to be caught for a 1st down. And this is going to be one of those games where you just got to lean on McNitt, go to the air, and try to see if you can have McNitt put him on your back and do something here. Charbonnet with a nice run, so it's at least helpful a little bit, but play action, McNitt, and he is going to go outside corner for Noah Fant, and that's another big-time play from Fant, handing it off to Charbonnet, punches it in, and a tie game. McNitt does seem to be a little disgruntled by the fact that there has been less design runs, and you can probably understand it from the Seahawks' perspective, just trying to protect McNitt in his already pretty reckless style of play, as a 3rd down conversion is not going to go their way. 4th down and 1 forces a punt. Steelers up 14-7, but McNitt wants to run the football. He wants to put the football in his hands, especially when he's missing Kenneth Walker. Screen set up to Charbonnet, and Charbonnet is going to have a nice chunk gain into enemy territory, 37-yard line. 3rd quarter is here with a throw underneath, going to be caught for the 1st down. DK Metcalf has it, and they're going to be at about the red zone area, 2nd down, and McNitt is going to throw underneath. That's going to be caught, and the ball is on the ground, and the Steelers pick it up, and the Steelers on the run, and McNitt trying to chase him down. He's trying to track him, but this cornerback just too fast. Ryan Watts is going to take it all the way, and the Steelers scoop and score, and McNitt now coming back onto the field. He was exhausted trying to chase them down, and that might have contributed to a pick 6 here now. And the Steelers 28-7 in the 3rd quarter. And McNitt, I mean, he hasn't thrown nearly as many interceptions this season so far. That's just about like his 4th, maybe. It's been pretty limited on the turnover side of things, and he's got a big run here. And I think McNitt has just kind of realized he's going to do it himself at this point, and this is the point of the game in which he tries to play a little bit of hero ball. Sometimes it's going to go their way, sometimes not. But this time, A.J. Barner gets the touchdown. He leaked out, and it's going to be 28-14. McNitt to the air. He's going to throw outside. That's going to be caught for the 1st down. And McNitt just going to be hurrying back back to the line, trying to move fast, trying to move quickly. Play action rollout. He's going to run it, and he's going to go for the first down marker and more. In McNitt playing more his style of football, the improvisation and running around, trying to make plays as he gets the first down there. And moving it to the 14-yard line, now inside the 10, second down and 2. McNitt to the air, and he's going to roll, he's going to bail, and will he go for the end zone? Yes, he will. Gets stopped short at the 1-yard line. Fourth quarter is here, and the punch in from Charbonnet. Another short yardage situation carry for him, and he punches it in. 5 minutes to go now, and McNitt gets sacked by TJ Watt, a designed rollout, and you're designing rollouts directly into TJ Watt. That's just bad play calling at that point, but McNitt on third down and long. Desperation heave, and he's got it for Tyler Lockett, keeping the drive and potentially the game alive. You don't know if you're going to get another stop if you give this ball back to the Steelers. I mean, they've gotten a couple of stops as of late in this second half, but you don't know if you could count on it. Quarterback run, designed keeper, breaking the tackle of Patrick Queen, and diving into the end zone. He took on Minka Fitzpatrick. He took on the whole Steelers defense by himself, it feels like, and he punched it in. And now with a minute to play, you knew you probably weren't going to stop them forever, and another 30 points allowed, and McNitt's got to have to be in a familiar situation just when he finally gets to tie things up. Once again, he's playing from behind, and second down and 1, completed pass for the first down. Just got to get into field goal range to try to send this to overtime, as with 45 seconds to play, throwing outside for Noah Fant, got it for the first down, inbounds, and now play action. Going to be throwing once again over the middle, got a bunch of intersecting routes, and that's going to be caught, and it's goal to go. 27 seconds to play. McNitt is going to run, bail right. Will he throw it? He stops. Yes, he will, and it's caught for the touchdown. Tyler Lockett, and McNitt delivers a big time, potentially game-winning touchdown, and it is the game winner. And that is a massive victory to try to put this team into a little bit better a position here, as they're once again facing the San Francisco 49ers, a team that McNitt is 0-3 against now in his career, and he's trying to shake off that early season defeat. And, well, the defense did a good job getting an interception here, so at least they're set up in good field position. McNitt is going to capitalize with diving into the end zone for a touchdown, so McNitt has a lead here. And not only that, he's playing with the lead. He gets to keep it. And the handoff to Kenneth Walker. Walker gets a block, and Walker springs it loose, and Kenneth Walker is gone all the way, 70 yards. And they actually have a full 8-point lead, turning it over to the Niners, who score a touchdown. They kick the extra point. So still, once again, McNitt's playing with a lead. When has that ever happened this season? Throwing one outside for the first down marker, and he's got a lot on the catch and run. Pressure got in, but he delivered. And now inside the 10-yard line, third down. McNitt throwing. That's going to be caught. First and goal. Handoff Kenneth Walker. And Walker has it late in the half, under 2 minutes to play. And the Niners don't do anything. And this is actually the best chance this team has had to beat the Niners. 3 and out there. And unfortunately, tie game. Touchdown 2-point conversion is good, and it's the one time this team has been stopped, it feels like, and immediately they allow a touchdown in the 2-point conversion, but still a tie game, still very much in it, and throwing outside for the first down on third down. So the conversion, they're trying to get themselves into field goal range. It feels like you have to score on every single possession if you're going to win a game in this Seahawks team. Fourth down, field goal is good. Defense gets a stop, so playing with a 3-point lead, if you can get a 2-score lead here going into the fourth quarter, you have a chance to finally knock them off. And there goes Kenneth Walker for the first down. Fourth quarter is here. 9 minutes to play. Third down and 4. McNitt throwing. He's going to take a shot deep, and it's going to be complete. And the field goal is no good. And the Niners, they tie it up. McNitt, unfortunately, is going to go 3 and out here. And to make things even more unfortunate, McNitt, not only is he going to go 3 and out, he basically doesn't get to see the ball again. It goes to overtime. The Niners take the football and immediately score a touchdown. McNitt basically didn't even get a chance to touch it again, and they lose. I don't think this is going to come as a surprise, but Prince McNitt is very unhappy right now. This Seahawks team, in the first 6 games, has allowed on an average 33 points a game, and has allowed 30-plus in all 6 games. And the Seahawks have still managed to win 2 of them, but he's not making his disgruntled nature a secret. He has been reposting stuff on Twitter and on social media of these graphics where Seahawks are dead last in points allowed and dead last in all these statistics on defense. I mean, likes are private now on Twitter, and you don't even have to, be all public about it. He's going out of his way because he wants it to be known. He's not happy. He can only do so much. His offense can only do so much, and when he's standing there watching Kenneth Walker fumble, and that allows a touchdown, it's 95% on the defense, but, you get situations like that where that doesn't help. He's not happy. He's frustrated. He just wants to be in a position where he can play with the lead and play smart football, play competent football. It's 4th and inches here, man in motion. And McNitt, he's just going to keep it himself. He's not even going to bother running the speed option. He's just going to tuck it inside and get a touchdown. He just wants to have some sort of structure on this team. I mean, Mike Macdonald is a defensive head coach. You hire a defensive head coach, you should not be having a bottom 5 defense in the league. You hire a defensive head coach, you should be out here. That should be your strength. I mean, McNitt is just out here doing everything he can to try to push this team into success. And the whole offense has been playing better. I mean, DK Metcalf, top 5 in receiving yards so far this season. Kenneth Walker, top 3 in rushing yards so far this season. They have a ground game. They have a passing attack. The offensive line, not perfect, but it's playing a little bit better. McNitt's not going to take 50 sacks this season. And, McNitt's gotten a little bit better. We're getting the ball out quickly. There's been improvement everywhere. And when you're scoring consistently 25-plus points a game and you only have a 2-4 record to show for it, that's frustrating. So maybe you don't go about it the way that he has, but nowadays that's what players do. They go on social media, they unfollow the team, they take away pictures, they delete posts, they repost other things. And I mean, you can't request a trade or anything, but McNitt's never had this situation before where if he doesn't like the situation he is in, that he could just change it. In college, you could hit the transfer portal. You can't do that in the NFL. There's no transfer portal. You have to, stick it out. And he's not wanting to. He's never had to just stick it out before. He's been able to move. Georgia didn't go well. He moved. Georgia State, he outgrew him. He moved. LSU, he won a national championship. He moved to the NFL. Now with the Seahawks, he's never stuck anywhere for more than 2 seasons. Georgia State was 2 seasons. LSU was 2 seasons. He moved high schools because he wanted to get into better situations in high school to be seen across the nation. That's how he became the #1 prospect in the country, because he moved high schools. He's never been in a place for more than 2 seasons. And in season 2, close to halfway through season 2, he's not happy. And he maybe wants to move, but he can't. He can't. He has to stick it out. For once in his life, for once in his career, he can't run away from this. He has to stick it out, and he has to deal with the issues, and he has to learn to deal with them and learn to manage them. They got a win last week against Jacksonville, but still a losing record here. And against the Rams, he got his team in field goal range here. He's going to get brought down on 3rd down, but they missed the field goal. And the Rams go down and get a field goal too. So, I mean, even special teams is angering him. They missed a 40-yard field goal. You can't be doing that consistently. This is not the first time that they've missed field goals this season. McNitt throws an interception here, and a lot of McNitt's interceptions, not all of them, but a lot of them will come from him trying too hard, trying to press situations. When you're never playing from in front, you're making more mistakes. You're putting yourselves in position to make more mistakes. And on 3rd down, McNitt is not going to get the 1st down. And another missed field goal. So you put yourself in position to get 6 points. 6 points, maybe not ideal in a half, but it'd be a 1-score game. And you've missed 2 field goals now. So what do you want him to do? He's down 2 scores, and he's pressing, he's forcing, he throws an interception. Now it's 21-0. And yeah, the offense isn't playing their best game. This is one of their worst games of the season, but I mean, missed field goals and McNitt, I think you could see the frustration is there, and he's not trying to hide it. He's throwing his helmet on the sidelines. He is, after an interception, sitting down alone. He is not doing well on the sidelines, and he's not being that vocal leader. I mean, you hear the stories of these quarterbacks after they're down, they throw a couple of picks or whatever, they go on the sidelines, they rally the teammates, they rally guys, no, get up, it's fine. McNitt doesn't do that. I mean, there was a time when Cam Newton, for example, I think Cam Newton's someone that it gets closely comped to a guy like Prince McNitt. Remember when Cam Newton would have a bad moment in a game and he wouldn't rally the troops? He'd go and he'd sit on the bench with a towel over his head, and everyone tried to call him a bad character for that. And there's different types of leadership. There's leaders by example, and there's leaders by being a verbal leader and getting in people's faces. Everyone has a different leadership style. McNitt's never been the type of dude to be selfless and rally all the troops together. And I mean, first play of the game here, in a next game, a fumble from Kenneth Walker scooped up. First play, you put the ball on the ground. And I mean, that's just going to set the tone for what is going to be a rough game potentially. And, you know, after a bad loss to the Rams, he was back on social media again. And this was around the time of the NFL trade deadline. And, you know, you always have those teams buying, selling, and the selling teams, what players are on the market. And anytime a big-time defensive player is, maybe this guy can get traded. You see McNitt reposting, trade for the defender. He wants to make a move. He wants to do something. He doesn't want to just sit there and ride things out at the very least. If he can't move teams, make the team better. So at least he could say he cares. He's proactive. He's not trying to be reactive. He wants to be proactive and make moves, but he's no GM. He's not the coach. He's not the GM. He's not the owner. He's not the guys having to negotiate these trades. He's not making the contracts and paying people. He's just simply the quarterback, and he can only do so much. But his constant complaining, his constant despondent attitude on the sidelines, combined with the fact that he already didn't endear himself to Seahawks fans are getting loud now. And for all the touchdowns that he's throwing like that, and for all the statistical proficiency that he has, people aren't ready to just say, yeah, we need to help McNitt. People are saying, well, be a better leader. Do more. Put up more points. Do more. When you put yourself in the spotlight like that and make yourself clear that you have an issue and you're being maybe not part of the solution in trying to motivate the players that you have and always wanting things to change and being too impatient and all these other things, and you already are an enemy to some of the fans. The fans are going to blame you, and you're already a quarterback. Quarterbacks already get a lot of the blame. Quarterback and coach gets most of the blame regardless. Your defense can go and allow 50 points a game. If you go 5-12 on the season, it don't matter, because people are going to look at you as a winning or losing quarterback. And right now, McNitt is a losing quarterback. He has lost most of his games in the first season and a half, and people are going to put that on him. He throws the touchdown here, and yeah, he got the lead, but the defense is going to allow points. But playing with a 1-point lead, that's at least something to be positive about. But the fans, they're getting loud too. They are restless because they are torn between their disgruntled quarterback who is making noise and who they maybe are a little indifferent on, and they're torn by the objective fact that their defense has just not played well. As a Seahawks fan, who do you side with? Who do you stand with? You know, your potentially diva quarterback or your bad defense. It creates a situation where the energy, the optimism is at an all-time low for this Seahawks team in recent years, as you know, maybe some of them are wishing they could go back to Geno Smith, and some of them are saying, hey, maybe we want Pete Carroll back. This is not the Legion of Boom that we were hoping that it would be. This isn't the reincarnate of that defense, and we're not getting that. You aren't getting production from the offense, though. 31 points put up here, and with just 4.5 minutes to go, the defense allows a touchdown. We get a field goal, so it's a 7-point game, but now on third down, trying to just run the clock out, you need a first down. McNitt running around, just has to throw it away, incomplete. And what do you know? 4.5 minutes to play, up by 14, and we're going to overtime because the defense could not get one stop. Cardinals get the football first and immediately go and score a touchdown. At that point, what can you do? What can you do when you're up by 14 with 4 minutes to play? You let Desmond Ridder torch you for 5 touchdowns and no picks. Desmond Ridder, of all people? To make matters a little bit more frustrating for McNitt, the trade deadline came and went without a single move from the Seahawks, so just going to have to figure things out this season. And it's not going to get easy because the 8-1 Tampa Bay Buccaneers are rolling into town, the league's best defense. So it's the league's worst defense versus the league's best defense, and We're going to see if we can somehow, some way, figure out a way to keep this season alive. Throwing there, it's going to be caught with first down. It's goal to go, so at least moving the football down the field on the first drive and the first opportunity you get to touch the ball. McNitt is going to throw it, and that's going to be caught, hanging on for the touchdown, and DK Metcalf has it. So, best defense in the league. They did not look like it on that first drive at least, but here on the next drive, third down, McNitt just having to get rid of the football, and it's going to be fourth down. He's not taken as many of those big catastrophic sacks. He seems to have figured out the timing to when to just get rid of the football and how long to extend the play before he's just got to get rid of it. 4th and 2 here, so going for it, and McNitt rolling, running, and he's got an open lane. He's got a first down and a lot more. McNitt jumping inside the red zone, inside the 10-yard line. Goal to go. It's going to be third down and goal. McNitt is going to throw over the middle in traffic, incomplete, and a missed field goal is going to keep it a 7-0 game. Walker is going to have a big run, but a holding penalty after the 2-minute warning is going to put him back. Third down and 18, and throwing one deep for the marker. It's going to be intercepted. McNitt trying to just force one to the first down marker. Maybe could have tried to do something a bit more conservative to get into field goal range, but regardless, doesn't feel like he could trust his kicker anyway, and that's going to be another issue where McNitt before was making some of those smarter plays to get into field goal range, but it doesn't even feel like he trusts his kicker now. And how could he? Because he's missed so many kicks. Jason Myers just can't seem to hit anything right now. It's 7-7 here in the third quarter, and surprisingly, it's been a low-scoring game. McNitt, though, throwing one deep for DK Metcalf, and over to defenders. It's a touchdown. We expected the low scoring from the Seahawks, because when you're facing the #1 defense, it just ain't going to be easy, but we weren't expecting the defense on our side to do a bit better of a job, though the Buccaneers aren't exactly going to be the high-flying offense. They more rely on their defense. It's going to be third down, and going to be punting it back, but the defense gets a stop, so 14-10, and McNitt hit as he's thrown, and it goes right into the hands of a defender, and that ball is going to be taken back and going to be brought inside the 20-yard line, but that's just an unfortunate play, an unfortunate pick, and now down 17-14 with 5 minutes to play. It's going to be up to Prince McNitt to try to redeem himself there. It's going to be caught on the outside, first down, and now at midfield. Third down and 3, 4 minutes to play. Throwing, it's going to be broken up, and the punting unit's going to come out. They're not going to go for it, and the defense is, to their credit, going to get a stop. So McNitt's going to have another chance to try to win this game, or at least tie it. And he's going to throw one, and nowhere to go with the football on third down. Incomplete, instant 3 and out. Fourth down and 10 at the 2-minute warning. Throwing one outside, diving grab, caught, kept the game alive for now. Now on second down at about midfield, throwing and intercepted, and that's McNitt's third of the game. And the #1 defense of the Buccaneers is making it difficult. Finally, our defense does their job, but we can't do ours because we're facing a really good 8-1 Buccaneers team. Somehow, someway, we're getting one more opportunity at this. Minute to go, no timeouts. We've been in this situation before in that Texans game where we were given a minute to play, and it worked out then. Can it work out again? McNitt, pressure on to try to keep this season alive. You can't lose many more games if you want to make the playoffs, and that's going to be a spectacular play, getting it inside the 20-yard line at the 11. First and 10, 40 seconds to play. Throwing underneath, that's going to be caught, and he's going to get it to the 4-yard line. Second down and 3. Running some clock. 23 seconds to play. And McNitt rolling. He's going to throw it on the run, and that's a touchdown! And Prince McNitt delivers. It took him a couple of tries, but you go out here and you put up a touchdown to take the lead over the 8-1 #1 defense in the league, and 3 picks is irrelevant because you were going to go and pick up a massive win, and a win to hopefully try to change the course of your season. The Buccaneers defense was spectacular, but their offense was less than spectacular. A win, though. A win is what we needed. 4-6 on the season, and if we can get on a little bit of a run here, maybe you have a chance. But you need the defense to play a little bit more how they played last game. Maybe not that well, but somewhere in between 30 points and 17 points. If you just allow like 23, 24, maybe we could come out here and win a couple in a row, but it just can't be 30 plus a game as McNitt delivers his team inside the 10-yard line, third down and goal, and it's going to be McNitt dropping to throw, spreading the field. He's rolling, he's throwing back in the end zone, and caught for the touchdown. And that's going to be the lead. Jackson Smith and Jigba with it, and the defense Panthers go down and score a touchdown, but now back on the field, throwing one outside. That's going to be caught. Noah Fant has it, and turning upfield for a big gain. Noah Fant, among the league leaders in tight end receiving for all the statistics, catches, yards, touchdowns, and he's just going to keep on adding to it as McNitt has his team first and goal once again, and he's going to roll. This time, is he going to throw or run? He's going to throw it, and nice patience. He's got the touchdown. So McNitt, good patience there, and that's Njigba's second of the game. And the defense holds. McNitt with the play action here with the football back, and he's going to roll, looking. Will he throw it? Yes, he will, and that's going to be caught. And he's had a little bit more patience here, just not running so much. I think at the very least, McNitt trusts his receivers. He trusts his very talented receiving core of Lockett and Njigba and Metcalf, and he trusts Walker. He trusts Noah Fant. He's got 5 legit guys on this team that he can rely on. It seems like those are the only players on this team that he trusts, though, as McNitt bailing left. He's going to throw on the run. Dangerous ball, and that's going to be intercepted with 3 minutes to go in the half. Doesn't result in anything. So with the ball back, minute and a half to play, can they go and get themselves maybe a 3-score lead before the half ends? And that'd be something that I don't know if McNitt's had like all season. It feels like a 3-score lead. Throwing there, that's going to be incomplete. So they turn the football back in. Carolina Panthers get a field goal here, but second half is down with the 11-point lead and a big play to set them up at scoring position to tack on to that lead. A 3-score lead is, I think, the only thing that's going to make McNitt in this offense feel comfortable, and Kenneth Walker delivers just that. An 18-point game here with the extra point, and Carolina just getting a field goal. 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. Third down play is no good. Fourth down, we get the football back, though, pretty quickly. Play action, McNitt rolling. He's got some blockers in front of him, and now he's going to bail and throw one deep. That's DK Metcalf jumping up, making the catch, and he's in. Touchdown, Seahawks. And that's going to be your game. The Panthers, they do score a touchdown, but 35-21, and that's 2 in a row. And now in a game against arguably the worst team in the league in the Tennessee Titans, and throwing one for DK Metcalf. That's going to be caught for a first down. So maybe a chance to get some momentum here. Crawl back to 500. You're playing the worst team in the league and throwing to the end zone. That's a touchdown. And McNitt delivers again. DK Metcalf. He's having potentially a career year so far. And Metcalf, I mean, he's always been, you know, one of those guys who's a consistent 1,000-ish yard receiver, but he's never been that 1,500 yard elite tier of receiver. He's never cracked into that echelon. He's only gone over 1,200 once in his career, and for the most part, other than that 1 year, he's just kind of hovered a little under 1,000. But this season could be the year where DK kind of breaks into that upper echelon, gets that 1,400 yard, 1,300 yard, 1,500 yard season, an all-pro type of season, because he has been spectacular so far, and a touchdown there. And look who it is former Saints wide receiver Michael Thomas getting a touchdown. He's the number 4 receiver who hasn't got a whole lot of play so far this year, but I mean, they brought him in as receiver depth after last season watched us have to use D. Eskridge and Laviska Shenault as receivers because of injury. And, well, Michael Thomas gets on the field and catches his first touchdown in a long time. And 14-0 is going to be Noah Fant down the sidelines. And Noah Fant, he's gonna go. It's 21-0. And, I mean, when you're playing like the worst team in the league, you expect this because the Seahawks team expects to be better than what they have been so far. We're still in the first half as McNitt drops on 3rd and long, and he's running around, and he's got 2 guys chasing him, a bunch of open field, but he stops and throws it, and usually he'd run it there, but he found the open receiver, delivered, and now 3rd down and 11. McNitt running, he's bailing, and he's got some speed, he's got the edge, and he's going for the end zone, diving, and he is in. And the Seahawks can cruise 28-7 in the first half. They cruise to a 28-14 victory. And suddenly, the Seahawks are 6-6 on the year. At 6-6, now 3-game win streak, and we're taking on a very good Colts team on the road. And Kenneth Walker, how does he manage to put the ball on the ground every time on his first carry? Seems like it's like a 50-50 chance where his first carry of the game is going to be a fumble, and somehow, some way, every time he fumbles, we can't seem to recover it. So Early 7-0 hole for McNitt, as per usual, having to play from behind, but here we are, play action, McNitt throwing, and he's going to go over the middle. That's going to be caught for a big gain. Flag on the play as he goes all the way into the end zone, but this one is getting called back, so fumble and now a touchdown called back. Second down and 22 now, and McNitt going to run it, and he's going to throw on the run. That's going to be caught. First down. We dig ourselves out of that hole. Now first down and 10. Play action, McNitt to throw, and outside, Noah Fant got it, and he's turning upfield at the 4-yard line. Goal to go, second down and goal at the 3. Direct snap, Kenneth Walker finishes the drive, so you get one back, and it's now just a tie game. Defense gets the stop. First quarter coming to an end with McNitt rolling left. He's going to keep his eyes downfield, but nowhere to go. Fumbles it out of bounds and punting the football away, where Anthony Richardson leads his team down for a score. And on third down, threatening to go 3-and-out. McNitt just trying to roll, trying to run around, trying to do something. Can't. And having to give the football back, and now in position to potentially go 3-and-out once more. This time, no 3-and-out, and the first down is converted 44-yard line. Third quarter is already here. This has been a fast-moving game where you get two of the best rushing teams in the league. You get two dual-threat quarterbacks, two top 5 running backs this season with Jonathan Taylor and Kenneth Walker. It's going to be a fast-moving game with a lot of running of the football, so McNitt hasn't had the ball much and hasn't had to throw it much, but throwing here gets him inside the 10-yard line and to the goal line. 5 yards to go, second down, and McNitt rolling, throwing, and that's going to be caught, and Michael Thomas once again has a touchdown, so he's getting involved in this offense a little bit more, and a 21-14 game here, as now third quarter, late in the third quarter, Kenneth Walker cuts it up, first down, and he's had 13 carries so far this game, ran it pretty well aside from that fumble, and throwing outside McNitt in enemy territory, trying to get his team in position. Now fourth down and 1, trying to keep this drive alive, and McNitt running around. He's got to get rid of the football, though, and he throws an interception. I mean, better than taking a sack there. You just got to put it up and hope something could go your way. Fortunately, no, and the Colts put up a touchdown. So now 8 minutes to play, third down. Can't do much there, but it does get the first down. The catch and run trusted his player to get it, and he did get it. So first down, new set of downs. McNitt rolling. He's trying to reroute, communicate, and that's great play, great patience, great communication, and good chemistry that McNitt has with these other receivers, and throwing over the middle. That's going to be caught for Tyler Lockett, and a one-score game as the defense can't get a stop. So just got to keep on scoring and hope something could go your way. Maybe an onside kick, maybe a turnover on the defensive side of the football. Seems like at times you got to play a perfect game, and try as he may, perfect he is not. He takes a sack there. It's going to be third down and 30. So, I mean, desperation for sure. Throwing one deep, and that's going to be intercepted. Just had to put it up there and give somebody a try, and that's going to be game. Colts put up another touchdown, end it, and down to 6-7 the Colts go, because you let Anthony Richardson complete 90+% of his passes. I mean, Anthony Richardson, I love me some Anthony Richardson, but allowing him to complete 90% of his passes should be a crime, on top of what you let Desmond Ridder do to you, and letting J.J. McCarthy throw 7 touchdowns on you last season. I mean, this defense is racking up things that shouldn't be possible. But against the Cardinals here, a chance to get back to 500 and find themselves in the playoff picture. DK Metcalf, catch and run, and DK not got quite the speed to go all the way, but he has a big time gain to get us out of our own territory. And McNitt throwing underneath. He's got the first down and more past the 10-yard line inside the red zone. Goal to go. Third down and goal. Handing it off. Kenneth Walker finishes the drive. It's 7-0 Seahawks. So at this point, you kind of need to maybe win out, or you can maybe afford a loss. It's 10-0, so you're doing good for now, but you can really only afford maybe one more loss. You're not going to make the playoffs with a losing record. You got to have at least 9 wins to make the playoffs. So with that extra wild card slot, the 7 seed, you can't sneak your way in there. The division is out of reach, basically. The Seahawks are not going to be able to, overcome what the 49ers have done. The 49ers got the tiebreaker, and the 49ers have, gotten themselves to like 10 wins. So they're going to be taking the division. Wild card is what you're hoping for. And you're making a good statement so far in this game as Kenneth Walker out of the backfield. That's a touchdown. And you're up. 2-point conversion to make it a full 21-point game. 3 touchdowns. McNitt is going to run it in. So 21-0 in the defense. Not going to get themselves a shutout, but only 3 points allowed here. And McNitt just got to play, an easy game now. He's very rarely gotten to play like this and gotten to just play safe football. He's thrown for over 300 yards this game. A whole bunch of catch and run opportunities for this team. 3rd down and goal. McNitt is just going to throw one up, a dangerous ball, and it's going to be incomplete. The field goal is going to be no good, so I mean, you could question McNitt for putting one up in a dangerous spot, but like I said, he doesn't trust his kicker. Cardinals are going to go and score a touchdown. They can't recover the onside kick and giving us the ball back with 40 seconds to play. Just going to kneel it out, and a 21-13 victory. And this time we were not able to get torched by Desmond Ridder, but the playoff situation, Seahawks are in it. I mean, they can absolutely make the playoffs, and they do play the Rams to close the season. And in an opportunity here to knock out the Falcons. The Falcons just 1 game out. A win here knocks the Falcons out the playoffs, puts the Seahawks over 500, and gives them an opportunity to crawl their way back in. And Kenneth Walker trying to do his thing. Kenneth Walker is, on watch to win the rushing title this year. He's been spectacular this year, career year for Kenneth Walker, and a big catch and run there to the 2-yard line. Make it 2nd and goal now from the 2, and the handoff to Kenneth Walker finishes the drive off with another touchdown. He is among the league leaders in rushing touchdowns as well because he has just been that good this season, throwing over the middle, and that's going to be a big-time grab. 7-3 is your score. It's going to be 3rd down and 27. A hold and a sack puts him back, and that's going to be a big catch for Noah Fant, and McNitt manages to convert 3rd and 20 pluses at a higher rate than he probably should, and that's going to be a 1st down grab there. His receivers are just catching everything now. 3rd down and 9, throwing one out, playing it safe, playing it conservative. No 1st down, but the field goal is good, and the Falcons go and score themselves a touchdown. McNitt, you have noticed he's been a little bit more quiet. The social media posts not as prevalent, not doing as much. I mean, trade deadline is already passed. He can't make any moves, so he's not going to be complaining and crying about that. And I guess he can't really cry if the defense is going out here and not allowing 30 points a game as McNitt slides down a little conservative there. He's going to let Kenneth Walker finish the touchdown. Seems like McNitt is protecting himself a little bit more at times, Not doing as much of the hurdling and jumping around and diving. He still puts his body on the line sometimes, but he's protected himself a little bit more, and I feel like he does trust Kenneth Walker to finish off drives a little bit more as he's going to get a big run here. And there goes McNitt, just getting one of those big explosive runs. He's so big, it's so hard to bring down. And McNitt rolling, throwing again, and that's going to be intercepted. And in a 1-score game, it's not going to hurt him this time. Screen is going to be set up. Kenneth Walker backed up way inside our own 10, and he's going to get the 1st down, a big-time gain there. 2nd down and 7 with 7 minutes to play in the 3rd. McNitt is going to run it. He's going to tuck out of bounds and get the 1st down marker. Now, moving ahead, 2 backs in the backfield, throwing underneath. That's going to be caught in, just continuing to move the chains, run the clock, and try to get a 2-score lead. You could get a field goal here, go up by 9, and continue to run this clock control offense. That ball is going to bounce right off the receiver, and that's just a mistake you can't do. I mean, the receiver's got to be a little bit more aware there. Just bounced right off his head, and now the Falcons go and score a touchdown, and McNitt finds himself losing, and that's going to be an interception, throwing it behind the receiver, and that's just on McNitt. Bad throw. And luckily, it doesn't hurt them. They don't allow any points, but you are in the 4th quarter now losing this game with your playoff hopes on the line. You need to come out here and make something happen, and Kenneth Walker is doing just that. Now, 8 minutes to play, spreading the field, throwing, that's going to be caught, clearing out. He's going to get to the 11-yard line, a new set of downs. Now it's going to jump ahead, 3rd down and 10 from about the 10, and McNitt rolling, throwing, touchdown in Jigba. And that's going to be the lead in a 2-point conversion to try to make it a full 7-point game. Designed to roll out. McNitt has the lane, and he runs it in. 2 points is good. You turn things to the defense, and they get a stop. You see Seahawks start the drive at the 1-yard line. They're already up here at the 34. This drive started with 6 minutes to play, and they have been methodically moving it down, running the clock. This offense knows that they might not be able to stop them again, so you go and run this clock down from 6 minutes all the way to under 2 minutes to play. And luckily, the field goal was good from long range, and the Seahawks get a stop. and they are on to a winning record now. Things are simple. The destiny is in the Seahawks' hands. They have the tiebreaker over the Panthers, and they play the Rams to close the season. If you win your final 2 games, you're in the playoffs, and you get yourself a 10-win season. And right now, you get to take on another one of arguably the worst teams in the league. You get to take on the 2-win Saints. So you win this game, you put yourself in a win-in game against the Rams. If you lose this game, it's not over, but you shouldn't be losing this game. McNitt starts it off with a touchdown, and to Noah Fant, so 7-0 lead, and the Saints go and get themselves a field goal, but playing with the lead and the ball in their hands, throwing one out for a screen, no good there, but another stop from the defense. Kenneth Walker up the middle gets a big run, and Kenneth Walker for the first down, and Walker trying to win that rushing title as it goes play action, and McNitt throwing one over the middle. That's going to be for Njigba, and Jackson Smith in Njigba for the first down, and a lot more past midfield, 40-yard line, first down and 10, throwing one. That's going to be Njigba again, and then Njigba, another chunk play for him over the middle. He has been the most efficient over-the-middle receiver you could possibly find as McNitt running. He's going to go for the first down. He's got that, and he's got a goal to go as Demario Davis tracks him down. And second down and goal. Turn, handoff, Kenneth Walker, 14-3. And the Seahawks are cruising right now as the defense gets themselves a stop again and a play action. So the Seahawks are going to load up and throw one deep, and Noah Fant has it, and that's going to be another big play. And McNitt throwing underneath, that's going to be a first down, and now threatening to go up by 3 scores in this first half. Throwing underneath, that's going to be a slot. Good diving deflection, and the Seahawks, I mean, this has been an issue all season, just allowing a touchdown with very little time to go. You can't do that. And now throwing a dangerous ball, that's going to be intercepted. And, I mean, that's just going to spiral things to a 17-13 game going into halftime. So McNitt cost his team 3 points, but the issue for this team this season has really also just been the fact that they managed to give up the worst 2-minute drills possible, it feels like. McNitt on the QB keeper is going to get it for the first down into the red zone, 14-yard line. Now 3rd down and 4 at the 7. And throwing one for the goal line. That's a touchdown. Njigba has it, and he has caught a whole bunch of passes this game. And the Saints go and get a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. So they're not going to be going away quietly. Yeah, you'd think the Saints team pretty, locked in for the draft at this point and looking to maybe get that #1 overall pick. But no, they are fighting. They are fighting hard. They're fighting for pride. I don't know what they're really fighting for other than that, as they're going to throw over the middle, and that's McNitt to his receiver in Njigba once again. And just more plays to him. He has been the go-to guy this game, and McNitt cutting, weaving, and that's going to be a first down carry. And now first down and 20 after a holding call. McNitt right up the seam. Touchdown. Noah Fant puts it in, and the defense just get themselves a stop, and they do. 9 minutes to play, 31-21. Just got a hold on McNitt playing it safe here. Screen pass, and the Seahawks allow a touchdown, so turning it to the offense once again. 3rd down, trying to run the clock, 4:40 to go, throwing one outside. It is he's thrown, and now the Seahawks allow another touchdown, and suddenly McNitt's got to go on a game-winning drive. It's crazy how this team manages to fold under pressure so quickly and allow comeback after comeback. A minute to play, McNitt having to save them. They need a touchdown. Blitz in. He delivers. He in the face of the blitz of Demario Davis. Gets it to Noah Fant at the 1-yard line. Running clock now. Handoff Kenneth Walker. He gets stopped. We got another try though. Kenneth Walker. He goes and gets it again. He's stopped again. 3rd and goal from the 1. 8 seconds to play. McNitt to throw it. And he's going to go intercepted. And it's picked off by Lattimore. Went for Njigba. And Njigba, look at the contact that he seemed to try to sell some sort of pass interference instead of just going and getting the football. And the Saints pull off the upset, and now destiny is not in our hands. We need to win, and we need a little bit of help if we're going to make the playoffs. But against the Rams, they're going to go and start off with a touchdown, and that's just unbelievable. I mean, you're facing a 2-win Saints team. You got a 10-point lead, and the defense, touchdown allowed, and then another touchdown allowed. And that's just so frustrating. And McNitt now having to just come out here and try to just win this game, close out the season with a winning record, and hope it's enough to sneak them into the playoffs with a wild card berth, maybe get that 7 seed, third down throwing. That's going to be caught for Njigba, and that is going to be at the 1 yard line. And we're going to do what we couldn't do last time. Just punch it in for a touchdown with Kenneth Walker, as, I mean, Seahawks fans know that all too well, not being able to run the ball in from the 1 yard line. It may not have cost them a Super Bowl, but, I mean, at least in that situation against the Saints, they tried to run it. They tried to run it twice, and then the interception happened, and that's just unfortunate. You could put that on play calling, you could put that on McNitt, you could put that on Njigba. There's a lot of people at fault for that play, but you just got to focus on what's in front of you and take care of business. You can't let last week undo your playoff opportunity here, as McNitt, 14-14 game, throwing for the end zone, touchdown. That's Tyler Lockett, and a 21-14 game is going to give the football back to the Seahawks, who have Kenneth Walker, and he's weaving through it. Kenneth Walker is gonna go 72 yards, touchdown Seahawks, and Kenneth Walker rips off another big one. 28-14 is your score now, as now it's going to be end zone for another touchdown, and that is going to be in Njigba again. 38-22 is your score, and late in the fourth quarter, Kenneth Walker, he's going to take the carry and put an end to this one. The Seahawks are going to have a winning record, 9-8 with the touchdown here, a 45-22 victory, and at 9-8, the Seattle Seahawks will be going to the postseason and be watching from home, as they do not get in. The Panthers needed to lose because we would have had the tiebreaker on them, but they don't. The Panthers win, and the Seahawks are the first team out, meaning that game against the Saints was the deciding factor. And Prince McNitt, unfortunately, just is going to be watching the playoffs from home for the second straight year, and in 2 seasons, he holds a 17-17 record, 8 wins, 9 wins, and despite putting up a better season than last year, it's just not going to matter, and that is probably the most frustrating part of it all, that no matter what this team seemed to try to do on offense, it just was completely overwritten. Number 1 rushing offense by a mile. Points per game. You had a 4th-ranked scoring offense with the number 1 rush offense. What do? You finished top 5 in points scored, and you had a minus point differential. That's not on the offense's fault. You could look at McNitt's interceptions and say, well, yeah, he threw too many picks. Sure, but most first downs, most rushing yards, most total yards, top 5 in points scored. When you go and have the worst defense in the league, potentially, I mean, I think the most damning statistic on this team is the one I'm about to share with you right now. In games where the Seahawks opponents did not score 30 points or more, the Seahawks were 7-1. They won and took care of business just about every time the defense didn't implode. But in 9 games this season, the defense allowed 30 or more points. And in those games, they were 2-7. I mean, sure, you could say, just score more points, but that's not always as simple. I mean, 4th most scoring in the league. You did your job. And McNitt, yeah, he threw a decent amount of picks, but less than last year, and not anywhere near the top of the league. Touchdowns, he's up there. Yards, he was up there. His completion percentage went up by a couple of percentages to put him right in the middle of the pack of the league. And for a guy who was a quarterback with sack-taking problems, I mean, his sack numbers went from 51 last year, which was bad, yeah, but down to 35 this year. That is cutting it down by quite a bit. He was tied for 10th in sacks taken. Obviously, these are by no means, like, incredible, but definitive, clear improvement being made. And look at this, as if there's not more to go against you. How about 13 missed field goals from our kicker, Jason Myers? I mean, it seemed like everything was working against them this season. And McNitt, Walker, Metcalf all make the Pro Bowl this season. At that point, what can you do? And McNitt's not happy as the season has come to a close. McNitt let it be known that he is not happy and he wants things to change here in Seattle. And for a quarterback who put up well over 30 touchdowns and like 5,000 yards of total offense, they're inclined to believe and trust him a little bit more. Changes are made in this offseason. Changes that you will see in the next episode. This team shook things up quite a bit. So I will see you guys all in the next episode. I hope you all enjoyed. Like, comment, and subscribe, as all that stuff is much appreciated. And I'll see you guys all in Season 3 of Prince McNitt's Seahawk career.